Hey, Kitsy here, and we're continuing our deep dive on litter boxes and why some cats don't use them. We're going over today problems with cats that pee everywhere, a different spot every time. We're going over cats that dig and dig and dig and then end up going on the bath mat. We're going into all the medical issues that can cause these types of symptoms, and we're going to figure out how to stop the litter box drama once and for all. Stay tuned. Let's go over the usual suspects first. First, we have the urinary tract system, delicate plumbing instrument. The kidneys filter the waste is stored in the bladder, and then the urethra exports the waste. If there's any problem anywhere along this juncture, the cat is going to have problems urinating, and it's going to be painful for them. That is the number one reason why cats don't use the litter box. They experience pain when they're in the litter box. Now let's say the system isn't working fine and a bacteria has entered the picture. Well, the bacteria is going to cause inflammation, irritation, and just gum up the works everywhere, making it very hard. Imagine, many of us have had UTIs, especially women, because they're very common in women. Imagine trying to pee and it burning. It's just unbearable. But cats don't realize that they have a UTI. They just think, oh, the litter is hurting me or the box is hurting me. So they find someplace else to go that's more comfortable. Then there's a condition called feline idiopathic cystitis. What that is, spasms and inflammation in the lining of the bladder. This can be very painful for the cat, and in male cats it can lead to a deathly obstruction. I had a cat once that had this. It's a mystery as to what causes it, but they believe that a cascade of biochemical reactions occur whenever the cat is stressed or anxious that create this inflammation. It's very hard to deal with. It's easier if you have, like in my case, pretty litter, because I could tell whenever he started to have blood in his urine and take him in for an anti-inflammatory shot so the bladder spasms would stop, because he would spray bloody urine on my walls. I could see it. Most times you can't see blood in cat's urine, but I could see it in his. That's how bad his was. And lastly, regarding the urinary tract and the problems that we can encounter, you have something called bladder stones. Now, I had a cat that had a severe problem with bladder stones. They were actually struvite crystals that came from the type of food he was eating. He had to go on a certain type of food that would give less of a chance of causing struvite crystals. It was called CD. You can only get it prescribed at a vet. And this still didn't stop the bladder stones for him. He would get completely obstructed and have to go in for laser surgery to laser out all of the bladder stones that were in his bladder. He had a severe case. Eventually, they had to do what I call a sex change operation on him, because they had to sever the penis at the point where the urethra opened up and was wide. That way he wouldn't get blockages anymore, and these were life-threatening. He came real close a couple times, but luckily he was good about communicating with me when he was getting these issues, and I knew to take him into the vet right away. If your cat is crying and not using the litter box and walking in circles, can't stand sitting for more than a few seconds without getting up and turning around and walking more, this is a sign your cat may be impacted by bladder stones. Naturally, with any of these issues, it's not hard to see why the cat would associate a litter box with discomfort. And if a cat is experiencing pain every time it urinates, then it's going to probably pee in more than one spot too, because every spot is causing it pain. The best thing to do is take it to the vet. Let them do an exam, let them do blood work, let them do x-rays, because these stones show up, as you can see on x-ray, very clearly. And make sure he's not impacted. Sometimes a sonogram needs to be done in the case of idiopathic cystitis. Then you've got the systemic diseases. You've got kidney disease, you've got diabetes, and you've got hyperthyroidism. With kidney disease, because the kidneys flush out toxins, there becomes such a buildup of toxins in the cat's urine that it just has to produce copious amounts of urine to try and flush it all out so it doesn't overcome and overwhelm the cat's body. That's the problem with kidney disease. As most of us know, diabetes leads to improper sugar metabolism, which also leads to increased thirst and increased urination. It's a real issue for the amount of water that is being drank, incontinence. So if your cat is going outside the litter box, is overweight, and is having incontinence problems, you might want to check into diabetes as being a reason. Hyperthyroidism is the same way. It speeds up the cat's metabolism. They're often skinny, and it makes them need to drink more and go to the bathroom more. It's very important that if your cat is exhibiting any of these behaviors, that you immediately schedule a vet consult. Then you've got mobility issues. Is the cat obese? Has it had an injury? Is it older? Does it perhaps have arthritis that is preventing it from being able to move comfortably? Do they hesitate before they jump, take a long time deciding to jump? Do they land clumsily? I think we know cats that behave this way. They're having joint issues or some kind of other neurological issue. Most of the time it's just arthritis. But you got to take your cat in. They have some great arthritis meds out right now for cats with arthritis. And if a shot a month could make your cat feel young again and not have arthritis and inflamed joints, especially in the hips and knees, and make them start using the litter box again, then why not do it? Just remember, peeing outside the litter box isn't always a behavioral problem. Most cats want to use the litter box, unless it's in a loud, noisy area like we discussed before, or unless it's an unattractive litter box that causes pain upon entry, or if there's other cats fighting them when they're using the litter box. If you want to see more of those reasons, look at my previous video. I'll link it in the description. But for cats with medical issues, they're not being bad. They're not misbehaving. They are in pain and they're in discomfort, and they're trying to communicate to you when they go outside the litter box. Please help me. So go to the vet, let them examine them, let them do blood work, let them do x-rays. If the cat needs a sonogram, get the cat a sonogram. It's a one-time expense for a lifetime of frustration of having the cat pee outside the litter box, and a lot of times the cat could be dead within a couple of days if it's not addressed soon. With Dove's case, he was so blocked and couldn't pee that if I hadn't taken him in at that moment, he wouldn't have made it. The vet told me he was already starting to get toxic throughout his bloodstream from the urine backing up. It's a serious subject, and it should be taken seriously. So get your cats to the vet if they're peeing outside the litter box. No ands or buts about it.